Hello everyone, I'm back with the Calm Morning Wind team. It's been about a week since I uploaded a video with this team, but it's been a month since I've played. Streak still at 182. I think I've decided what I want to do with the streak. Currently, what I'm thinking, assuming I don't lose, I want to get 200 wins, so 3 more rounds. Just so I've hit that milestone. Because I'm so close, it feels like a waste to stop now. And then after that, unless I change my mind, I'm gonna start using other teams. Including challenge teams, so I will likely lose the streak shortly after. Because I want to get my highest streaks on the cartridge. Just feels right to have it on cartridge instead of on my 3DS. And with Pokemon that I've caught and bred rather than gent or edited. Now probably my first attempts at breaking the streak on cartridge will be with a different team because this Moltres is from XD, which will be harder to get. I've also not played through XD yet, so that's something I first have to do my first playthrough, and then I'll probably do a playthrough to hunt for a Moltres. And I've heard that RNG manipping for a good Moltres is like really difficult in XD, or maybe even impossible. So I think my target will just be max speed or almost max speed. I think I have to be max speed. Fast enough to outspeed base 100s. And maybe Timid or Jolly Nature, probably. And then I'll just grab that Pokemon, even if it's not that good otherwise. And then maybe in the future I'll try to hunt for a battle one. But that's all for later. Let's see if we can win this round first. I'll do a voiceover again. For all the battles except probably the last one. And yeah, I'll try adding music this time. Because I heard from some people they would like music, and I did figure that would probably be nice. But I wanted to try without first. I'm still gonna have to look into how I add music, but I'm sure I can figure it out. It's probably not that difficult. But yeah, I'll probably talk to you in the voiceover. Hello, time for the voiceover. This is actually the third time I'm recording this, sort of. First time I recorded the first battle, decided the speed was too slow because this round is really slow. I wanted to increase the speed, so I paused the voiceover and the voiceover disappeared. So I started recording again. And I was like, oh, it's recording. Good. And then I stopped the recording after I was done and the voiceover disappeared again, but now it's finally working. Okay, so this round was terrible. It's the slowest round I've had with this team and also in general. Like before, the longest was about 2 hours. And I stopped the recording after the first 6 battles so I could switch to the live recording for the last battle. And the recording was already 2 hours. So that was nice. This first trainer was really annoying. That triple fire type Moltres could only stall and not actually kill anything. But the more annoying thing, this Flareon has Sand Attack, and of course every time I switch in my Blissey it goes for Sand Attack. Then it also has Roar, so it actually roars me out when I set up. So then I finally end up with like 2 boosts. Then right now it's low, so I'm like, okay, I go for 1 more boost. It won't roar because that's what it's gonna do next turn, but I kill it before it roars, so I'm fine. Out comes Typhlosion, also has Roar, so now my boosts are gone again. This Typhlosion has Smokescreen, and it's faster, so it's gonna drop my accuracy again. Really annoying, so I have to stall out everything before I can set up. Oh, it was so frustrating. And so slow. Like, every time I was trying to speed up the battle, it would just say no. And we'd have to fully stall out. So yeah, this is gonna take a long time, which is why the first time I was recording, somewhere around this point, I was like, okay, 3 times speed is not fast enough. We're gonna go to 5 times speed. Or well, I was gonna go to 4 times, but then the recording bugged, so I was like, okay, then we'll do 5 times. And then the recording bugged again, so now we're still doing it at 5 times. I think going up more is maybe a little bit too much. But yeah, it takes a while. Oh yeah, I discovered this is the last Pokemon's Charizard, and it's Dragon Dance Charizard. Also with the accuracy lowering move. And I'm trying to figure out, do I care? Do I want to stall out all the Dragon Dancers or something? I end up saying I don't care anymore. This battle has taken long enough. I'm just gonna set up my Blissey, and if I miss because of Bright Powder or Smokescreen and I lose, then it's whatever. I don't care. Here it finally struggles, so we can set up. I do end up making a mistake here, because it's gonna end up killing my substitute with the struggle that it kills itself with, and because it's faster I don't get to move, so I don't get a new substitute, which I kind of did need to play more safely against this Charizard, but it ends up not mattering. On this turn I should have killed. Instead I went for healing, and now I don't have a substitute. But yeah, it didn't matter. Charizard needed like 2 misses or a crit and a miss, or 2 crits or something. Didn't happen. So at this point I'm pretty frustrated after that first battle. And then this battle is also going to be frustrating. This Salamence, I was thinking, do I care if it's Dragon Dance? No, because Skarmory can just switch in a Whirlwind, so I go for the Protect, and it's Dragon Claw, which is not on a Dragon Dance set, so I just stall this. It does have Flamethrower, so I cannot switch into the Skarmory. I think I figured it out after it runs out of Dragon Claws, because it's gonna go for Crunch. And the Crunch sets with Dragon Claw all have Flamethrower. Then either it's gonna be Attract or Brick Break. And here I'm trying to figure out, do I want to kill this? Or do I want to keep this around? Or use it to set up Blissey? I decide I want to set up Blissey. And it turns out it is Attract, and it of course got the special defense drop on the switch. And then it gets immobilized by Love twice, so I have to switch out, otherwise I might end up just dying. I'm gonna have to stall out all the moves with Moltres, which I didn't really want to do. I want to keep as much PP on Protect and Substitute as possible, because you do run out on this Moltres eventually. If you have to stall out all 3 Pokemon and they have a bunch of attacking moves, then you just run out. So I always want to avoid it if I can. And switch to my Blissey or my Skarmory. Or just get the kill. But here we switched in on another attract. I try to set up as much as possible. We get Will-O-Wisp by Love a bunch. We end up at, I think, +3 Calm Mind. Attract has 15 PP, so we have a bunch of turns. I was thinking, do I want to just stall out the attracts and then set up on Struggle? And I decided I would just try to set up while I'm still attracted, and if it don't get enough buffs, we just switch out and try again on Struggle. But this was okay. Here we get a crit, which did matter for the kill, but we still had like 3 or 4 turns before it started struggling, so we were fine. The Skarmory is going to be really annoying. It is a Steel Wing Air Cutter with Scope Lens, and it's going to break my substitute every time. I went for a Calm Mind because it was going to die to either 5 hidden powers or a Calm Mind and 4 hidden powers, so I was like, well, I'll just get the extra boost, but then I end up not killing it yet because it's dealing too much damage. And it also has counter, and usually Pokemon with counter Mirror Coat, they love going for counter or Mirror Coat. Not this Skarmory. It does not want to counter, and right now it's really low HP, so pretty sure that makes it a lot less likely to go for counter. And also earlier, I kind of missed it this time. It actually countered our Hidden Power, even though we're Hidden Power Dragon. And that's because Hidden Power is a normal type move. Even though it's also a Dragon type move in this case. So it's treated as a physical move. Because of the default normal typing. And that means that you get countered, but you do not get hit by Mirror Coat even if you have a special hidden power. So we switch to Skarmory, stall with Skarmory for a while. It's gonna take quite a while. And I probably should have stalled some more with the Skarmory because I end up switching once it runs out of Steel Wings. But it still has a bunch of Air Cutters. And I also just should have switched earlier. I was really hoping Blissey would just kill this and for things to go a little bit faster, but we were not allowed to go fast this round. So we do end up running out of, or almost running out of PP on the Blissey. Now the Blissey does have a Leppa Berry, so we still had quite a bit of PP. And I'm not sure if it even mattered. Like if there could be any Pokemon in the back that would give me any issues if I run out of substitutes or soft boils at the time that I kill this. I do make a bit of a mistake in that this Skarmory outspeeds me because of the agility. And I go for the kill on the turn where it can attack. And it gets a crit and breaks my substitute. So I should have just wasted one turn, see if it kills my substitute, and then kill it if it didn't, or set up a new substitute. But it gets the crit, and I don't have a substitute when the last Pokemon comes in. But it's a Xatu, so it didn't matter at all. And it probably didn't matter regardless. But I should have played around it. And I realized it the moment I clicked Hidden Power, but yeah, that's too late. So Xatu goes down. And in comes Breeder Claire, which is a trainer who only has one set for each Pokemon, so I knew this was not Quick Claw for Alligator. And I think I would have known after this Protect, because I think the Quick Claw ones all have Surf, and the Scope Lens and the other one, is it like Lum Berry? I'm not sure. I think there's also another item. Those two have Hydro Pump. But yeah, we easily stall out Hydro Pumps, of course. And I decide to just kill this with the Will-O-Wisp. And then the next Pokemon is Slacking, who we very easily wall. Because we have both Protect and Substitute. However, I make a misplay that doesn't matter at all. Feraligatr died to the burn, and that means that Truant activates on the first turn that Slacking is in, so I should have gone for a Substitute instead of Protect. But it doesn't matter. We're faster, so Slacking can never hit us. It's Lum Berry, doesn't matter. Just Will-O-Wisp and then Protect every other turn. Now this trainer can have Curse, Quick Claw, Snorlax, which is one of the Pokemon I usually scout for, but I decided we're gonna guarantee to have a substitute up, so we can just burn the Snorlax. We're gonna need to miss Will-O-Wisp a bunch of times before it becomes an issue. So I just decided I didn't care. We do miss the Will-O-Wisp here, of course, which means the Swamper's gonna survive a little longer than it otherwise would have, but doesn't really matter. It's Shell Bell, so we can always just stall this. And luckily it decides to go for Mirror Coat a couple of times, so we get another opportunity to Will-O-Wisp before it's out of PP. And this will die eventually. Just takes a little while. And there it finally goes down. Okay, fourth trainer is Ranger Tyler, who has a lot of Pokemon, but also only has one set for each Pokemon. So I knew this Glalie wasn't really a problem. It is gonna be annoying, but it's not gonna be a problem. It's Ice Beam, Earthquake, Crunch, Shadow Ball, and it's gonna get a lot of special defense drops in this battle. Like an unreal amount of special defense drops. Let's see, I think. So at this point it's out of Ice Beams and it's no longer dangerous. So I'm gonna use it to scout the other Pokemon. So we're going to Skarmory and Whirlwind. And here's Machamp with Flamethrower, Scope Lens. And I decide to switch on a Cross Chop and it misses. I was pretty sure it wouldn't go for Rock Slide on the switch, but I'm not 100% sure if that's guaranteed. Because it didn't go for Flamethrower, which was the super effective move. But Cross Chop is also a lot stronger than Rock Slide against Skarmory, but the AI is weird in its decision making. So there may have been a chance that we switched in on a Rock Slide and lost the battle immediately. But luckily that didn't happen. I decide to stall out all the Flamethrowers. And now I go for Will-O-Wisp. I maybe could have gone for Will-O-Wisp earlier. But I'm also still whirlwinding this out. Slowly gonna die to burns and it only has Earthquakes left. I really want to see the last Pokemon, but I'm not allowed to. And now I see the last Pokemon as Snorlax. And we know it's Curse. So I protect the first time just to stall a turn. And then we can burn slowly burn all the curses. Here I'm switching out because Skarmory has a bunch of special defense drops and I decide I want to stall out all the PP, or close to all of the PP at this point. So Skarmory no longer has to worry about all those special defense drops. And I can just Whirlwind in the Snorlax. So it still has 1 crunch. Crit, special defense drop. Okay, protect. It curses, whirlwind, it curses. And this time it decides to attack. Sometimes they will attack, I don't know why. I guess it's just a percentage chance to not go for the curse. Even though it's not dealing that much damage, but a crit would have been dangerous, so I decide I should heal first. Here I'm wondering, should I kill this Machamp already? Decided not to. Now the Snorlax does decide to keep cursing. Another special defense drop, but doesn't matter. Here I Torment, then I Protect so we don't get hit by Struggle. Machamp dies. More curses. And that's the last curse, which is why I Whirlwind. And I decide to set up with the Blissey. Earthquake doesn't even break our substitute. And yeah, it still had a couple of Shadow Balls, which of course are gonna do nothing. And now we're just waiting for me to kill this. I maybe should have healed first here, because if I crit, Glalie dies, and I'm not full health, which probably doesn't really matter, but it's optimal to heal. So yeah, we have a substitute, we're +6. Snorlax of course really tanky, so it doesn't really take much damage. But it's gonna take a lot of damage from the recoil as well, and it dies. And we're on to the next, which is Bug Maniac. Here I was afraid of Swords Dance, especially if it's Baton Pass. So I go into Skarmory so I can Whirlwind. It shows its counter, so it doesn't have Swords Dance. So I was like, oh, I can kill it. And then I was like, well, there could be a Swords Dance Quick Claw Armaldo in the back. And this Scizor can't hurt me, so let's just start scouting with Whirlwind. And there's Armaldo. And it goes for a Rock Slide and it deals a ton of damage. I'm like, what? And then I remember Choice Band Armaldo is a thing. So I'm like, oh, okay, this has to be Choice Band. There's no way it does this much damage otherwise. So that means Moltres can beat this Armaldo. I burned the Scizor. I switch a couple of times just so I don't burn any PP, but actually should probably just have been going for Will-O-Wisp because Skarmory doesn't have leftovers, so it just loses HP. And Scizor doesn't really deal damage to the Moltres anyway. But yeah, Scizor goes down. There's Armaldo. We land the Will-O-Wisp this time on the first attempt. And now we just stall it out. And it's dying slowly. And then the last Pokemon is gonna be a Shuckle. And it's a Shuckle with Rest and Double Team. So it's gonna take an eternity to kill. Because we're just not allowed to go fast this round. Yeah, I go for the Will-O-Wisp. And yeah, I know which set it is, so switch to Blissey, but it toxics me. I set up with Blissey, but then later I decide actually I should be stalling out all of the Wraps and the Toxics first with Moltres, because it's gonna use all of those before I can stall out the rest. And yeah, it's gonna take a while. Yeah, I switched to the Skarmory first, so I know that I'm not switching into a Toxic. And here you see I use Substitute and I'm no longer affected by Wrap. I already knew that if I have Substitute up and it uses Wrap, we don't get the end of the turn damage. But here you can see that even if you have the end of the turn damage, if you set up a Substitute, it goes away, which is very interesting. And a way you could escape being trapped. So he's starting to rest, so I start to set up. Now, I want you to guess how many times am I gonna miss this +6 evasion Shuckle. It's a 1 in 3 chance to hit. So miss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we finally hit. Okay, it's 13 attacks before we hit. And then we miss a bunch again, we hit again on attack 17. And then it lives on 1 HP and we land hit 18. Whoa, imagine. Hitting back to back. Luckily that was not a position where it mattered, but that was kind of crazy. And here we have the only fast battle this round. Against a Dragon Tamer. It's special attacking Nidoqueen. I switch in Blissey. I don't get paralyzed, which would have been really annoying. But yeah, it does not paralyze us. So we can fully set up. It deals no damage because it doesn't have any stab moves. And its special attack is not that high. We are a Blissey with Calm Mind. And then the next Pokemon is going to be a Flygon. Don't know if it's Bright Powder or Scope Lens. We just one-shot it. And then the last Pokemon is going to be Kingdra. And I was a little bit worried about what if it's Flail. It lives on 1, but I looked at the calcs and it doesn't matter. Because I don't have a substitute here, but actually I think it didn't kill Blissey even with max damage +1 Flail. So we just kill it and we're going to live. And the last battle is gonna take a while, so enjoy. Alright, time for the final battle. Man, this round, at least like the first half, was torture, man. It's the longest round I've ever played. Like I think before my longest round was 2 hours. And the previous 6 battles was already 2 hours. Definitely didn't play my best. As well. I was a bit frustrated after the first battle and the second battle also didn't help. I didn't quite play as well as I could have. But good enough to get here. Okay, Metagross is potentially a very dangerous Pokemon. Let's start with a Protect, see what happens. Meteor Mash, okay. That's your best move. It's probably not Bright Powder because that one has Thunder Punch. Definitely doesn't have Rock Slide. I don't know, it could be Explosion. I think. Probably. One of the explosion ones has Rock Slide, so it's not that one, but there's another one with Quick Claw Explosion. Which is not ideal. Let's see, it's probably not Psychic. It might be Earthquake, Meteor Mash, Psych Up, Swagger. Let's go for a substitute. Maybe he goes for swagger? Facade. Okay, it's Meteor Mesh, Air Lace, Facade, Light Screen. With leftovers. I might want to switch into Skarmory. Yeah, Facade breaks my substitute every time. Probably just wanna switch. You could get an attack raise. I do have Whirlwind. Oh, I actually went for Light Screen. Okay, that makes sense. It doesn't see any damage on me. That Facade still did a fair amount, so I'm gonna Whirlwind, I think. I probably should have stalled out the Meteor Mashes with Moltres. Kingdra's back. That's actually kind of dangerous if this is Hydro Pump. Ice Beam. I think there's two that have Ice Beam. Yes. This means it is... No, it could be Dragon Dance. Never mind. It's probably Double Edge, Ice Beam, Dragon Dance, Rest. Because I think the other one would go for Surf. What do I do here? Could just rest. We risk getting frozen, which is of course not ideal. I could switch to Blissey and then switch back on what is probably Double Edge, but I'm not sure if Double Edge is guaranteed, and does it really help me that much? But could also Dragon Dance against the Blissey. Could also Dragon Dance now. I'm gonna go for Rest. Ice Beam. Do we get frozen? Nope. That did no damage. Oh yeah, it has no offensive stats, of course. Go for another Protect. But this time it Dragon Dances. And the Dragon Dances again, okay. Berry. Marowak, okay, another dangerous Pokemon. Double Edge Rest. This could have Swords Dance. Kingdra's back. Dragon Dances. Dragon Dance is 20 PP and Swords Dance is probably also 20. Let me check actually. Swords Dance is 30 PP. No. But Dragon Dance 20. It's just gonna keep Dragon Dancing now? Okay, Metagross is back. Meteor Mash. They can all raise their attack. Well, he immediately gets the attack raise. No, I don't want to switch in on this. Things are a little bit scarier now that we've lost a bunch of HP on Skarmory. Maybe I should switch against Metagross. But if he gets the attack raise, that's still really scary. I think I'll probably rest. I should be fine. No attack boost. And I think that's the last one. Another attack boost, okay. But he's out of Meteor Mashes, so can't really deal that much damage to me. Actually, I think I'll just rest again. I should end up with more HP. I could completely stall it even with the attack boost. I need to figure out how I want to do this. Because the Kingdra and the Marowak, they're both dangerous. Kingdra less so. If I kill the Metagross and have Moltres out, probably Marowak is gonna come in because it should have a rock move. Yeah, they all have Rock Slide and they should see a kill with Rock Slide. I always outspeed. Yeah, I think I just want to stall out the Marowak. But I think I do want to get rid of this attack boost on the Metagross. Maybe I should have just stalled it by resting, actually. That may have been better. Rock slides. Okay. That's actually a little bit scary. Well, actually, is it? If Skarmory dies, I just go to Moltres. I went for Torment so it can't spam Facade when I burn it. But maybe I shouldn't have. Should I switch? I'm gonna calc how much damage this thing can do to me. It did break the substitute with the Facade. Okay, it's a roll to destroy a substitute with Facade. Is light screen still up? It might go for light screen if light screen went down. Okay, we're fine. Now it's down. Miss Will-O-Wisp. Okay, Air Lace is gonna deal no damage now. Facade should be same amount of damage, so I think it's a 50% chance to break the substitute. Alright, it has leftovers. It's gonna take a while. I need my protects for the Marowak. And my substitutes as well. I think my plan is to stall out the Marowak and then keep whirlwinding between Marowak and Kingdra. Maybe I should have kept Metagross alive. Then I can set up Blissey once it only has light screens left. Then Blissey kills the Kingdra. And I think it would... Oh, I shouldn't have gone for substitute. And if it's Brick Break Marowak that comes in second, then I probably two-shot it anyway and outspeed. I think. Maybe there's one that I don't outspeed. I think one... Oh no, all of them have max speed actually. I'm not sure how fast they are. It might not have worked. Looks like Metagross starting to run out of moves. Just have to wait for it to slowly die so Marowak can come in. Three of the Marowaks have Swords Dance Rock Slide, so I don't know which one it's gonna be. There's Struggle. That might save us a turn. And we're back at full HP, and I think unless it's a crit we should have a substitute, which is nice. Oh, it still had light screen. That makes sense. Now Marowak should come in. Okay, didn't save us a turn. I'll protect just to make sure we have the substitute. Now I just need to not go for the Will-O-Wisp against Marowak. Which is very tempting. Should always be Rock Slide here. That's 5 PP. The one Rock Slide against Skarmory isn't really gonna matter. Alright, now that it's out of rock slides, we can get to see what the last move is maybe. Or it's gonna go sword stance. That would make sense actually. Yeah, there's another sword stance. I should have enough to stall out whatever move it has. It could just be Icy Wind, in which case Sword Stance isn't doing anything. It's Mega Kick, okay. And Mega Kick only has 5 PP, so it's out. It only has Sword Stance and Earthquake, which are gonna do nothing. Which means we can stall out all the Dragon Dances. Six. And 7. An Ice Beam. Nice that it's on the Protect. Okay, we just need to not get frozen. I'm gonna heal up on this Marowak. It cannot hurt us. And it has a lot of PP. Another Ice Beam into the Protect. Another Ice Beam. And we get crit, but we do not get frozen. Okay. That was scary. I probably should have gone for what I mentioned earlier, which is stall out all of Metagross's attacks, set up with Blissey, and hope that we kill Kingdra. And in this case, Kingdra should have been the second Pokemon, I think. Actually, I'm not sure. Is Kingdra the second Pokemon? It's the second one we saw, but that was because of Whirlwind. Another Ice Beam. And a Dragon Dance. 10 dances left. How many Whirlwinds do I have? Do I need to start getting worried? Maybe a little bit. Should be fine. Another Ice Beam, very nice. And another Ice Beam, there's only one left. Don't get frozen. Guess I'll rest up again. That way if I do get frozen, I at least have a lot of chances to fall. Or more chances, anyway. Especially now that it's gonna run out of Ice Beams, it's gonna Dragon Dance a lot of times. Two dances. I could let it stay in longer, but if I get frozen, that could be a problem. And when I switch it back in, I have a chance of protecting on the Ice Beam. So that's what I'm gonna do until I start running out of Whirlwinds. Dragon Dance again. There's the last Ice Beam. And we did not get frozen. Very nice. Now I can let Kingdra set up a couple more. Because it's not doing any damage to Skarmory. Even with a couple of boosts. One dance. Another one. Yeah, that still did nothing. Does it still have one more? Or is it out? Not completely sure. Okay, that should be the last one. I am pretty sure. I can whirlwind it back in one more time. It has rest, which is kind of annoying, but I guess gives me free setup. Yeah, it should be out of Dragon Dances. It's gonna do recall, so it will actually go to sleep. But we'll just use those turns to set up Blissey. Does Double Edge break the substitute? Yes, it does. But now it's gonna sleep. We get some free turns. Let's see, is Marowak faster than me? No, I don't think it is. Even with max speed, it's 97. And we're 106. I'm pretty sure. There goes the substitute. Almost set up. Not sure if we can one-shot the Kingdra because the Dragon Dance sets are max bulk. And we have no investment in special attack. Actually, do I need to be worried about it surviving and then dying to recoil? Oh, it's a roll to kill. So I think what I'll do... Let's see. Yeah, I will waste a turn. It breaks the substitute. Set up a substitute, I heal. And then I can attack twice if needed. Critical hit. Alright. It's finally time to finish this round. There was only like one battle that didn't take ages. Which was the previous one? Yeah, it was the previous one. Okay, Kingdra wasn't the second Pokemon. But we should have been fine if we set up with Blissey on the Metagross. So I think that's what I should have done. Then we don't risk getting frozen. Unless, for some reason, Kingdra decides to Ice Beam my +6 special defense Blissey. Ugh. How long did this battle take? That was quite a while. Yeah. Over half an hour. Oof. 189 wins. Just 2 more rounds and we'll have 200. And then I'll stop using this team. At least for now and on this file. And maybe I'll use it again on cartridge, but that will take quite a while. But yeah, I really want to have level 50 available for some of my challenge teams, because running into Tyranitar in open level is just horrible for some teams. It just makes it so much harder to get a long win streak. And level 50 doesn't have that issue. So once we hit 200, we can start using challenge teams again. I mean, I could do it now, but I want to get that 200 wins. Because it feels like a big milestone. And then I have 200 plus wins in single and doubles, which is nice. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back.